Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Lala, but I go by Lala. My model name is E. Van Lee. I dance and I work in hospice full time, so we're gonna get into that later. But yeah, that's me.
You know, it's really interesting. So, a lot of models I've met this year, they do something in regards to the medical field. I just find that so interesting. I feel like seven, eight of y'all are in the medical field. That's just,
Yeah, I think it really goes hand in hand. Like when you're in the medical field, it's that sense of wanting to help someone or being there to help, and it's so much pressure.
yeah,
So when you're modeling or even when you're dancing, when you're doing something creative, that's your way to release the pent up pressure that you may have from your job.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, for me, I work in finance, and so, like, it's super structured. There's like no wiggle room for creativity whatsoever.
Yeah.
So with like photography, it gets like all my creative juices and things of that nature. So I can understand that.
Yeah, it's balance.
Yes, much needed balance too. Okay, so first question: how'd you get into modeling?
I got into modeling in elementary school. So I was in Team Up and they always had like different events going on. And the first time that I had went to, I think it was one of the events, it was like a dance or something. And one of the coordinators of the dance told me that she was going to host a pageant for Team Up. I was like, a pageant? I watch Toddlers and Tiaras. Like, I want to be in a pageant. That seems fun. And I told my mom about it. They did everything they needed to do to make sure that I was in the pageant. And I was in there and I won first runner up. And ever since then, I was like, this is what I love to do. So, not necessarily like now I'm not in pageants, but it's all coordinates together as far as getting cute, getting dressed up, and showing your creative side and just showcasing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered doing any of like the more adult pageants? Like there's a Miss Florida, those type of pageants.
I have considered it, but I do psych myself out in ways because I know they have different, what's they call it? They have different segments of the pageant,
Yeah.
and like the bikini part of the pageant, I think I'll be comfortable with doing, but I do want to work on my fitness a little bit more to tone my body up before I want to put myself out there in a bikini, like that. So,
Yeah.
and other talents too, they have the talent section and everything. So I think I just want to work on building myself more before I enter a pageant because that's competition and you got the real deal out there. I'm in the real deal, but that's the real deal.
Okay. So I want to know a little bit what your first photo shoot was like.
So my first photo shoot was when I was in my mom's daycare. So most daycares they have like a photographer come and do, like school pictures, but for daycare.
Yeah.
And the man had 3 different scenes set up, and I only had one outfit picked. So when I seen that he had 3 different scenes, I'm like, I want to do all of these. I'm gonna go in my closet and find me an outfit for each one, and I did that.
Yeah.
And the pictures came out so beautiful, and after I did that and I was looking at the pictures, I was like, this was just another reason for me to want to do more. And I think I was like maybe 8 at the time, 8 or 9. This was right before I did the pageant. So it was like everything kept happening.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this is it. This is it. So it was amazing. It was exactly what I needed.
Okay. So you've talked about you modeling since a very young age. So with that, what's the best piece of advice you would give someone who's looking to get into modeling, seeing that you have a tenured career in it?
I would advise to stay true to yourself
Yeah.
and understand that you have control over your range. You can be an innocent model up to sexy boudoir type shoots. Whatever you feel comfortable with, do it. I always recommend somebody doing something once just to see if you're comfortable. You can always do something once and say, okay, I'm never doing it again, but at least I tried it. So try things once and always, if you can, bring someone with you to your photo shoots. If you're not comfortable, they should allow that. If not, steer away from it because why can't I have somebody that I'm comfortable with here?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say to stay true to yourself and build your wardrobe because as a model, you have to put yourself out there and market yourself. So the advice that I would have, also my last piece of advice, is to build your wardrobe. Have your sense of style. So when you go out, you can be like, oh, I model. I can tell you look cute. Thank you. Yeah.
That is very interesting too, because sometimes when you see models outside of photo shoots and things of that nature, you might not necessarily know they model based upon how they present themselves in an everyday basis. And once again, there's nothing wrong with that, being comfortable. But also, too, I guess, I mean, a lot of models is like, hey, I might present an idea to them. And it's like, oh, I gotta go shopping, or I gotta go shopping. And I was like, I don't know, and this could be biased on my end, but I would expect, like, just biased on my end, I expect models to have like these giant closets full of everything. And it ain't always the case.
Me, I would expect that too because I have.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord Jesus, it stresses me out. So many clothes, so many shoes, and sometimes I still have to go and buy things depending on what I'm being called to do.
Yeah.
Because you can have 15 pieces of black clothing, but it's not the type of black that you need or the type of style of black that you need for a shoot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, build your wardrobe, please. It's going to come in handy.
And I guess that kind of segues a little bit into this next question. So we talked about some pieces of advice, but I also want to talk about what are some common mistakes new models make that you'd warn against?
Doing your research. I would say mistakes that some models that I've seen some models make is being too quick to jump to an opportunity. And then it end up being a scam or end up being something that they wasn't expecting, or they get there and it turns into something else.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of horror stories and it's sad. So I would just recommend doing your research. If you know somebody that has did a photo shoot with a photographer or a videographer or a brand, reach out to those people and say, how was your experience? I don't see no pain or hurt in doing that because you're looking out for yourself. So just being too quick to jump into an opportunity that may not fit you or fit where you're trying to go with your modeling career.
Yeah. And so also with that, since we're talking about it, and then I know this is necessarily on this list of questions I gave you, so I apologize. But it's talking about experiences and opportunities. Like, how important is a modeling portfolio for a model? Because I meet a lot of people who want to get into modeling, and their portfolios consist primarily of like selfies or like photos somebody took on a cell phone. They don't necessarily have a portfolio, but at the same time, kind of more so just once again, talking about not necessarily being too quick to jump into certain opportunities. So how important is that modeling portfolio?
It's very important, and the advice that I would give when you're first starting out modeling, you have to book these shoots. Sometimes you're not always going to get a collab. Sometimes you're not always going to get compensated for a shoot. So you may have to reach out and book a shoot and pay your money for a shoot to build your portfolio. Once you build your portfolio to what you want it to be, that's when you'll start getting collabs. That's when you'll start getting compensated for certain shoots because they see that you have put in the work to do it and you're just not looking for handouts. Yeah, that's what I would say.
I agree. So like I find myself now, like anytime I want to work with somebody or I'm thinking about reaching out to somebody or somebody reaches out to me, like I'll be looking at their Instagram. I'm like, okay, they really don't do this. And then it's the most, from the photographer's end, it's somewhat a little frustrating sometimes when people want to model or sell themselves as a model and they've maybe done one photo shoot with like a friend who had a camera but isn't necessarily a photographer. So I guess just for me, like, I really be looking for that modeling portfolio.
I agree. I mean, it can be frustrating because when you get them into the room, it could be that you have to give too much direction, and sometimes I can understand from a photographer's view, if you have to give too much direction, it may make that model uncomfortable because why are you telling me to do this? Why? Sometimes people don't like to listen. They don't like people telling them what they need to do. So when somebody's telling them what they need to do, they get a little offended. But it's all about growth.
Yeah.
Listen.
It's kind of funny. So, like, we work together. So, typically, when I do a shoot with somebody, I'm coming with reference photos just to make it easier for both parties, right?
Exactly.
And I've been in a photo shoot when I'm like, hey, you know, here's the pose. Let's switch this up a little bit. Let's just move this hand from, let's say, from the hip to like the shoulder or something. It'll look more flattering and stuff. And I had a model tell me, no, I'm not doing that. And I was just like, well, okay then. And it made the rest of the photo shoot like a little tense.
Oh my
And so I was just
goodness.
like, all right, cool. And then so we're taking these photos, and then the model is somewhat a little hard headed, I would say that. And it's like, nah, it's their way. But they don't like the photos.
And it shows in the photos.
Yes.
Your attitude, your aura, your energy will show in the photos. Yeah, like I said, always just try it out. If a photographer is telling you to move a certain way, just try it out. Try it your way, try it their way. Take pictures both ways and see who wins.
That is very true. Because I am very quick to be like, hey, we can take this photo a couple different times.
Exactly, because one of them's going to look good.
So I want to talk about networking in the modeling industry. So how important is networking in the modeling industry?
Networking is my favorite, but also the hardest time that I have.
Yeah.
It's very, very important because you have to market yourself. As a model, you're responsible for yourself. You have to market yourself. So when you network and you meet different people, you let them know what you do for a living and for your passion, your name can be dropped in rooms that you're not even in.
Yeah.
You could meet someone at a bar or at a random public event. You let them know you model. They may not model, but they may know photographers. They may know a fashion designer. They may know that's a fashion show coming up. They may be able to get you put in, and y'all ain't even known each other for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So networking is very important because it's always going to allow you to get more opportunities and meet more people that can bring up more opportunities and experiences to you. So and it's hard for me. Not necessarily going to say it's hard for me. It's just people are unpredictable. So it's like, yes, I want to go out and network. Yes, I want to meet new people. Yes, I want to be friendly, but you also have to have a sense of discernment when you're networking too, because not everyone is out for your best interest.
1000% agree.
Yeah.
So we've touched on I feel like we've touched on a couple of good pieces of advice so far. So for you, what do you wish someone had told you when you had just started out modeling?
What I wish someone had told me was just kind of what I just said in a way. Not everyone will have your best interests.
Yeah.
Someone could literally be putting on a whole act. They be actors out here, everybody. So be aware of that. But yeah, everybody's not going to have your best interest, even though it may seem like it, even though they could be bringing you opportunities. Feel like sometimes there's always a string attached.
Yeah.
So you need to learn when to cut that off or when to have a tether to it. If it's a string attached, it could be pulling from both ways. And listen. Listen to understand, and you don't always have to agree with someone to understand where they're coming from. So listen, take what resonates, and then go from there. You can practice whatever somebody does tell you, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But yeah.
Okay. And then I want to talk about, and then I don't know if this is on here, so I apologize. I got a couple questions in my head.
It's okay.
Like I said, it's conversational, just things just pop off. So I meet a lot of people who ask me what models should do when they start off. And in my head, I'm like, I don't know. I just take the pictures. So, from your experience, what are some things from a technical perspective that models should do when they're first starting off, whether it's getting digitals or whether it's building a portfolio with certain photos?
Digitals, yes. Um, Book your first photo shoot. Like I said, you may have to use your own money. So book a photo shoot with a photographer either that you're comfortable with or that you like their work with. Um, and let that be your creative control, because when you're booking a photo shoot yourself, you have most likely you have full creative control of where you want that to go. Also, practice. Look at yourself in the mirror. You have to learn to use your facial expressions and your body in different ways that you may not have done in a while or at all. When you're modeling, it's just not about sitting there looking pretty. You may have to do certain poses that it's like, this feels awkward. But when it hits that camera, it's gonna look amazing. So the mirror is your best friend. Be conceited. You're better than Beyonce. That's how I think. That's how you should think too. Yes. Yeah. Just practice poses and like your facial expressions in the mirror.
Okay. And speaking of practicing poses, so one of the things you are really good at that I appreciated when we did our photo shoot, you do these like micro movements in between poses that help you ease into the pose a little more. And honestly, that was the first time I had seen that. So I've been doing photography for like 2 years now, and I was like, oh my gosh, she really modeled and
Thank
stuff.
you.
And then so like I was looking at the behind the scenes, and I was like some people would just like go to they're like straight to a pose, but it's like levels and like certain steps you took. So like, how do you build that up?
Um,
Understanding that everybody ain't you, so it might not necessarily, you
yeah.
know.
I feel like you have to have a relationship with the camera as well. Like you have to understand how a camera works to understand how you need to position yourself to take the picture.
Yeah.
Also, it's pictures. So, you know how, I'm going to use the same example. You know how they be having those videos, but it's like they move like every inch, and then it makes like a whole little
Like the
video.
stop
I don't,
motion videos.
yeah, the stop motion videos.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I think when I'm
Oh,
modeling.
that's really good.
That's how I think when I'm modeling, because it's like, okay, if we're taking pictures, I don't want all 5 or 10 of these pictures to be in one pose.
Yeah.
I want to change something because something is going to look different and it's going to look better. That also helps me eliminate some pictures also, because it'd be hard when you get a whole bunch of pictures like, I don't know which one I want to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just feel like it's really having a relationship with a camera and knowing how a camera works. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too. So I talked about a lot of models being in the medical field. I also see a lot of models themselves becoming photographers. And then like I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then like they focus on both sides. It's like, that's really cool.
Yeah, I've thought about buying a camera. I just don't know what type of camera to get, and they are very expensive.
Listen, and then so one thing people don't tell you about photography is how addictive it is, right? Because you're gonna buy a camera, and then what's gonna happen is you'll fall in one or two brackets, right? So it's like you buy a camera, you don't really know how to work it, you feel like your picture ain't coming out too well, you'll sit there, you wasted your money. Or you buy a camera, you fall in love with it, but then at a certain point you get to a stage where like you're somewhat limited by your camera. So then you want to buy the new camera or like the more expensive camera that you can do more things with. But then when you buy the camera, you're gonna want to buy a light to go with it.
Light,
Or you want to buy a lens to go with it. All that.
I was like, oh, this is a lot. And then sometimes when I get to shoots early, I'll see a photographer like setting everything up, and I'll be like, oh my goodness, this is a lot that goes into it. Then sometimes it be some lights like this, and it's a light, but you can't see the light.
Yeah.
That confuses me. So it's like, okay, I'll just let you do your thing, and I'm gonna do my thing back here. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
practice some poses while you figure that out.
But yeah, you should definitely, I would say, try it if you would like. And then
Yeah.
I feel like one of the things too, what's really underutilized, like a lot of models can do, is a cell phone, right? So like they have like little triggers you can get smaller lights to set up with, so like you don't have to necessarily get all these grandiose name brand things. You can find like a lot of third party things that work with like Samsung phones or Apple phones, and it's just like you can create comparable images. I am very biased in the sense I feel like a camera phone could never be a camera.
It could never.
Um,
It's so different.
it is, but if you ever want to try that, that could be an alternative route.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
So, talking about your modeling journey a little more, what's been the most challenging part of your modeling journey so far?
Work, life, and passion balance.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Working while trying to do what I'm passionate about. Like, yes, I'm passionate about working and helping people, but I love modeling. If I could choose to model every day, get cute, do my makeup, put on something really, really fly, do a video shoot, do a photo shoot, and I have like photo shoots back to back, that'd be my dream job.
Yeah.
However, that does not pay the bills right now. So I have to have a full-time job, and that is the most challenging because sometimes I miss casting calls. Sometimes I have to book a photo shoot maybe a month or 2 months in advance because I may not have a day off, or I have to do overtime, or there's more work needs than personal life needs.
Yeah.
Or your personal life just gets so overwhelming and you need to work more, or you're just not able to model or do fashion shows. So balancing work life. Yeah, and my schedule is very, I have a split schedule. So I'm off one day of the week, and then I'm working one day of the weekend. And that day is Saturday. And most fashion shows are on Saturday.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, so I miss a lot of fashion shows or castings because of that. But if they have a casting that is on my day off, or once I get off of work, I'll try to make that casting, and I'll just take off the day of the fashion show.
Yeah.
So I make it work, but that is the most challenging.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, talking about another challenging part potentially of the modeling industry, maybe not like for you, but you talked about getting paid for modeling, right? So how do models get into the habit of charging for photo shoots? Because I know there are some models who charge a per hour rate. They'll reach out to photographers like, "Hey, I'm available to shoot these days. These are my rates." How do people ease into that, or what's the sources of income for a model?
Sources of incomes for a model could be being a brand ambassador. So it could be you getting compensated by money.
Yeah.
You can get compensated by the clothes, like you wearing their clothes. So brand ambassadors, or being a model for like a boutique or a makeup brand. It could be a whole different things that you can do.
Yeah.
However, building up to that is you building your portfolio, because you can't have a limited portfolio with the limited range and expect someone to pay you for a photo shoot.
Yeah.
You gotta be fair, you gotta be ideal. What I do, if I see someone post about modeling or they need models for this, that, and the third, I'll reach out. Hey, I may be available. I would like to be compensated if I am available. If this is something that we can agree on, we can negotiate on, because it works both ways. We're both spending our time to get this creation created, so why not have a little wiggle room with each other?
Yeah.
So yeah, look out for posts about model calls or wanting models, and then discuss with that photographer, because every photographer is different. So if it doesn't go the way that you want it, you can either negotiate or leave it alone. Could be working for somebody else and it's just not you.
Yeah. And so just diving a little deeper into that, right? So I want to talk about collaborations, right? Because we talked about like models getting paid. And so for me as a photographer, I try, especially if I'm asking you to do something specific or wear something specific that you might not already have, I try my best to compensate when I can. Um, but so once again, I'm relatively new to this photography thing with people, and so just this year alone is when I started reaching out to models, working with models, even meeting other photographers who work with models. The phrase collaboration or the term collaboration has a range
It
of
does.
definitions, right? So
It
in my
does.
head, when I first heard the term collaboration, it's hey, I'm not getting paid and you're not getting paid.
That's what a collab is supposed to be.
That's how I understood it. But there's this new age definition of, for a collaboration, oh, the photographer is going to charge you, or oh, for a collaboration, you're going to pay the model. So just talking about getting paid, what are your thoughts on all of that? I guess.
So when I hear collab, I'm on the same page as you.
Yeah.
We're both not getting paid. We're coming to create something together that both of us can either get more opportunities for, or we're going to use for something that we can get paid for.
Yeah.
As far as the photographer paying the model or the model paying the photographer, it would depend on who is going to benefit out of this more.
Yeah.
We will never know who's going to benefit out of it more, really, but that will go into the intentions of it as well. So I don't really know how to explain it. So let's say for our shoot, for example,
Yeah.
you had this concept, you had the dress that you wanted to have, you had everything all planned out. You had your vision. You're like, okay, I'll compensate you this. Come here, everything done. Took pictures, and it was for Black History Month. So I feel like that was benefiting both of us,
Yeah.
because you put it all together, but you wanted to have this project that you put out for Black History Month. Now, let's say I had all of this in my head and I'm reaching out to you for you to take my photos for me to have this project. In that case, I'm paying you because I came up with this idea.
Yeah.
So I really think it's who comes up with the idea and who wants who to do what. If the photographer is coming up with the idea, the concept, and they just need a model to fulfill that, come on now, break that model off something, because like you said, he or she may not have that at the house.
Yeah.
They may have to go get whatever that's needed, and vice versa. If I'm coming up with this idea and I'm looking at this photographer's page and I see that it may fit, I'm gonna shoot this photographer something. And like I said, it may not be their rates, but it could be a negotiable thing. I always good for negotiating. Negotiate, please, because you don't wanna lowball yourself or that photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bring up some very, very valid points. And I think for me, as somebody, so I've started, I feel like I got a good portfolio now. So, that was one of my goals for this year to really build my portfolio. And there's still a bunch of things I want to add to it, but I feel like I have a portfolio that I'm proud of. And so I find myself getting messages and things of that nature from models, and it's just the negotiations they don't be there. And it's just hey, I'm somebody with 3,000 followers on Instagram. Take these photos and you'll get exposure. Or it's just hey, I'm somebody who has been told I am conventionally attractive. Take these photos because the picture's going to be nice. And it's just what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
People real interesting.
Very, very. At least give me some type of incentive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may have 3,000 followers. However, I may get this exposure. However, what are you planning to do with this? Just post it? Are you going to use this for another opportunity? Like most of my shoots that I use, I'm able to use it to get myself in more doors.
Yeah.
That's what your plan should be, is to use it to get yourself in more doors instead of just posting it. send it to different brands, send it to other photographers.
Yeah.
This is what I can do. You can't just, oh, I'm cute. Can you take my pictures? No, it's not going to work.
No, I completely agree. And then one last topic in terms of collaborations. I know I'm not on camera, but I feel like if you're asking somebody for a collaboration, don't try to sneak it and make it a birthday shoot. I have had that happen. Like, oh, I have this concept. Oh, and then I'll post pictures for my birthday. See, nah, because now I feel like you're playing with me. So just once again,
And just to say, be honest, be
Yeah.
transparent. Be transparent. Like, hey, I have this concept for my birthday. And if it turns into, it could turn into something else too.
yeah,
You know, now you may not have never did a birthday shoot. This could be your first birthday shoot, and now this is something that we're both doing that can benefit each other.
yeah.
So it's all about transparency. Just talk about it, because when you don't be transparent, that's when people feel like you playing with them. Like, who is you? What?
Listen, because what happened? Somebody told me, we did a photo shoot, and somebody like, oh yeah, I'm gonna post these pictures for my birthday. My birthday is in 3 days. I was like, you think you finna get these photos back in 3 days?
Yeah,
First
that was
and foremost.
planned. Yeah, exactly.
And it was like, and then for me as a photographer, I'm starting to get to the point of like, there's some people I'm probably like, oh, yeah, no, we're not gonna work together again. And it's things like that. It's like, nah, I don't like that.
Yeah, you got to be like that too. You got to protect your brand.
Yeah. So I want to talk about rejection and criticism, or even potential rejection and criticism in the industry. How do you deal with those things?
So rejection, this may sound like conceited. I really have not dealt with rejection as of yet.
Talk your stuff, Lala. It's okay.
I'm pretty sure it may happen because I'm not everybody's cup of tea and everybody's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But anything that I have signed up for and was available for, I was picked for and I was there and I did it. If I was to get rejected, take it, charge it to the game. Like I said, we are not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
We are not for everybody. That's like, I feel like that's life.
Yeah.
As far as a modeling career, I have not been rejected. Criticism, I have gotten constructive and a little bit of disrespectful criticism. It's going to happen. I would always recommend to listen to understand, take what resonates, but also have boundaries. If someone is disrespecting you, you stand up for yourself. Don't let nobody try to run over you, because it will happen, especially in this industry. They will try to run over you. They will try to throw little slick shots, especially like coming from other models that they model. It's some models that model because they have low self-esteem.
Yeah.
And it's backwards. I don't understand it, but it's not for me to understand. It's for that person to understand. And hopefully, they find grace with it.
Yeah.
But you just have to be very discerning when it comes to working with other models. Yeah.
So you touched on a couple of things. So just one with the low self-esteem. So earlier I said somebody reached out to me because they were told they were conventionally attractive. So like I have met some models or some people who want to model or wanted to do a photo shoot with me, and then they have expressed like sometimes doing a photo shoot is the only thing that makes them feel pretty, because that like somebody took a picture of them and then they were told their picture was pretty, and then that's how they get into modeling. So anytime outside of that, they don't necessarily get that same feeling. And it's very interesting because a lot of models I've met are very self-critical.
Yeah, we all are.
They will notice the smallest detail in a photo and be like, I got an eyelash that fell on my cheek. Nope, we got to retake this photo. And I'm like, how do you even see that?
Yeah, you're your biggest critic.
Yeah. So that's interesting. But then you also talked about like criticism from like other models and stuff. So like, I don't know this to be true. I don't know all the models, but specifically here in Jacksonville, I have heard that Jacksonville's modeling scene sometimes, specifically for women models, there's a lot of mean girls. So, like, have you ran into that? And if so, how do you deal with that?
I have, how can I put it? I have ran into shaders, like a shading mean girl, not like a like very very disrespectful mean girl. No,
Yeah.
I feel like the way that I introduce myself, the way that I carry myself inside the modeling industry, don't play with me like that.
Yeah.
However, it's some people that will take it there. People can be very shady, and it can be very nice, nasty. And if you're not paying attention, you may not catch it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens. But like I said, always, advice I would give is always stand your ground. And if someone is being disrespectful, you don't necessarily have to disrespect them back, but you can do it in a very nasty, respectful way. Yeah, like I'm not gonna say I don't pay people no mind. I just don't give them the energy that they are expecting back, because that can hold you back from different things. If somebody's being very disrespectful to you at a fashion show or at a photo shoot, if it's your nature to just wild out, curse them out, that's gonna block blessings for you because you don't know how to control yourself.
Yeah.
You can still be very professional. What I always say, be respectfully direct. Don't play with me.
Yeah.
It's not like that over here.
I feel that. So, okay, now I want to talk about your model bag, right? Mm-hmm. So, what are 3 things that are always in your model bag? And if you have more than 3, that's fine as well.
I can give you a whole list because my bottle bag be like either a suitcase, or like a little rolling thing. It be big enough.
Yeah.
But the most important 3 things: makeup, touch-up kit. Top 3 things. Wipes, pasties. Yeah, that would be my top 3 things. Everything else be like pair of tights, at least 4 or 5 pair of heels, 1 pair of tennis shoes, tank top, tube top, half bra, black pants, pair of jeans, and like a black little dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, speaking of your model bag, so how do you make sure everything's in your model bag before a shoot? And then also, how do you usually prepare for a shoot?
I am very critical about that. So like the day before, I try to make sure I have everything I need. I'll go to the store to get everything I need, or I'll make a list to go to the store the day of, like right before, or when I wake up. And I will like pack a bag the day before, and I'll go back in and make sure everything's there. Like it didn't grow legs and walk away.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, number one, if you think about something too much, you're gonna forget something.
Yeah.
2, if you double check yourself, then you're gonna remember something. It's like, oh, I didn't put that in there. Let me put that in there. Especially when you're rushing. I try not to rush before anything because that's when you really forget stuff, and we don't need that. Preparing for a shoot, so I pack my bag, double check it, make sure I have everything. I'll literally stand in the mirror and talk to myself. Okay, Lala, you got this, you got that, you got your stockings, you got your half bra, you got your deodorant, you got snacks, you got water. Just talk to yourself to make sure you have everything, because you're responsible for having everything. And then also talk to your designer or your photographer to make sure there isn't anything that you may need to bring that you don't usually bring to a photo shoot. So yeah, depending on what you're doing, always reach out to your photographer to make sure you have everything you need.
Okay. And then, do you have a go-to skincare or fitness routine that helps you stay ready for your modeling?
So skincare, yes. This is not a branded. What did it say? No. What did it be like? This is not a
Sponsored.
sponsorship. Yeah,
Yes.
this is not a sponsorship, but La Roche-Posay. Once I found them, it's everything. So I use their face wash, and I use Aveeno's Calm and Cool wash too. So I use both washes, and then I use aloe, and then I use La Roche-Posay's moisturizer, and that keeps me good. Before I was just like, even though I am a licensed esthetician, even before that, I was always like, oh no, I just wipe my face off with water and I'm good. And even though I have pretty good skin, regardless, once I did have my skincare routine come into effect, I felt like it made it even better. So it's always room for growth. It's always room for something to get better. Fitness, I dance. So that's my that's my fitness. I don't really like go to the gym or work out. I'll do push-ups and I'll do like sit-ups and stuff every now and then. It's not consistent, but dancing is consistent, and that's something that I just started back doing this year. And I have felt difference in my body and with the photo shoots that I do, because when you dance, you're moving your body in different ways, and you can take some of those movements and bring it to a photo shoot, especially if you're doing an editorial type shoot, because it's always those awkward poses that just eats up. So fitness, I'm getting better on that. I'm lazy.
Okay. So how do you decide which projects you're going to take on?
Deciding my projects, first I go through what I've already done. If I feel like it's too similar to what I've already done, I'm probably not going to do it, because I like to try new things. If it's been a few years since I did something, I may do it, but then in a different way. So it can be different, it can be fresh. But I like to do like out the box new things, or something that is very, tasteful and classy. But I also have a raunchy side. So yeah, it just all depends on the project itself and how it's going to be laid out, how it's going to be marketed. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so I feel like, I guess as a subset of this question, we were just talking about psychological and physical safety, right? So what are some ways to maintain those before a photo shoot, during a photo shoot, and after a photo shoot? And so with that, there's a lot of guys who just have cameras, and then they're creepy, and they use photography as a means to fulfill their creepiness, their fetishes. So how do you maintain your safety?
If you're uncomfortable, it's for a reason. Don't second guess yourself when it comes to you being comfortable. You said something, you said it's a lot of guys that got cameras.
Yeah.
It's a difference between a guy that has a camera and a guy that's a photographer. If a photographer reaches out to you regarding a specific shoot, and the first thing it goes to is something that's sexual, something that's revealing, and you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. If you are comfortable with doing something like that, bring someone that you are comfortable with to that shoot. Yeah, that hits home. That conversation definitely hits home, because everybody's not out for your best interest, and you have to have discernment when you are talking to these people. Also, plan a Zoom call.
That's good.
Plan a Zoom call. Plan some type of conversation before the shoot, so that way you can see this person on camera. You can talk to them, get firsthand, okay, I understand you want to do this type of shoot. This is a little bit revealing. What are your plans to do with these pictures? Let's see where this is going to go before I make my decision. And don't be so fast to make a decision. Don't be so fast to say yes. If that photographer really wants you to be their model, they can give you a few hours to think about it. They can give you a few hours for you to make sure this is something that you want to do, because normally when things are rushed, it's not good. So, yeah, meditate. Meditate on it. Talk to God.
No, really, that's a good one. I feel like people don't do that enough.
No, for real. Talk to that man all day. Man and the universe, everybody.
So, just going back to sometimes they're just guys with cameras, right? So, I've met some models and they feel like the entryway into modeling is always the bikini photos, or it's the beach photos and things of that nature, or it's the boudoir photos. Um, what are your thoughts on that? Because some people feel like that is the entry level, or there's some photographers that's all they shoot, and for them having such a big name, they want to shoot with them to get that exposure. Um, what are your thoughts?
I feel like to each his own.
Yeah,
You know, if that is what that model is comfortable with doing right out the gate, that's you. But I just feel like there is, when you think about a model, when I think about a model, I think about range.
yeah,
When I think about a model, I think about Tyra Banks, Naomi. I think about fashion. I don't think about being revealing. I don't think about bikinis and everything. Like, yes, that's a part of it. Yes, that is something that is like a sexy side, all of that. Um, I have done a bikini shoot before, so I'm not knocking it,
yeah,
but that shouldn't be where you would want to start off at, because you're setting the tone for your modeling career with that. Is that all that you want to do? If that's your first photo shoot, if that's your first few photo shoots, if a photographer is looking at your portfolio, that's all they're going to see. They may not be able to see you in a more professional or in a more editorial way, because this is all they see. So you have to give them some type of range to say, oh, I can do sexy, I can do beach, I can do poolside, but I can also put on a suit.
yeah.
I can also put on a dress, a formal dress. I can also do so many different things. So I just don't want, especially younger models, to put themselves in a box and make themselves out to be something that men just want to look at,
Yeah.
and women.
Very true. Okay. So, just speaking of shoots that you have worked on, what are your favorite types of shoots or projects to work on?
My favorite types of shoots and projects is when I get to be fashionably creative. Um, or yeah, when I get to be fashionably creative. So me being able to, like, you giving me concepts,
Mm-hmm.
different ideas, and I can take that and run with it
Yeah.
and make it mine. Because I don't want to, if I see something on Pinterest, I'm not going to want to get that exact same look. No, I'm going to use that as an idea for me to make it my own. So that'll be my favorite types of shoots, projects. Just having creative control, or either me having creative control, or having someone that I can bounce ideas off of and it become one, and it's just everything. It's all about energy. So whichever shoot, whatever project I'm working on, as long as the energy is good, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go for hours. Let's do it.
I feel like energy and environment are such underutilized things in photo shoots. So for me, ideally, I'm just like, hey, let's put on some music. Let's just have a good time, right? Because I feel like that's when the best art comes from it. And like ideally, there's gonna be laughs and stuff. I'm not like the, okay, hey, do this pose, do this pose, do this pose. All right, boom, we out. It's just like, it's so boring.
Boring.
Where's the environment that you
Yeah.
create? I feel like there's a lack of that.
Yeah, you have to create it. But some people are like they say introverts. But I feel like in this field, you're gonna have to break that shell, baby.
Yeah.
You gotta let it go because you have to have some type of personality. If you don't have no personality, who are you?
Yeah.
Come on.
You know, that's so real though. Cause like when I do shoots, hate is a very strong word. I strongly dislike like people who are just so cookie cutter, right? And then like at least from my thoughts, right? Because I'm not the model, I'm behind the camera. That's the safe part for me. So, but like I dislike people who are so serious and stern in photo shoots, and it's just like, listen, the photo's gonna be good. I know what I'm doing. You know what you're doing. It's a recipe for success.
I think that comes with bad experiences. That could be a boundary.
Yeah.
Because everybody is different. How everybody deals with their experiences is different.
Yeah.
Me, even if I did have a bad experience, I'm gonna use that, and yes, I'm gonna be more discerned about it, but I'm also not gonna let that stop me. Like, I'm a very bubbly person. I'm very like, okay, I think my thoughts out loud.
Yeah.
So it's like if something happens, I'm gonna like, oh shit, like I'm gonna talk it out. So I feel like some people they like keep everything in a bottle, and then especially when they're around someone that they may have not known yet or may have not shot yet. It could be them protecting themselves in a way because they don't know how the other person is going to react.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I find myself, so like I think of myself as naturally, what's the best way to put this? I am an introverted extrovert. So like I get energy from being around people, but it's a little push to get me to that point. Like that's who I am, but it's like it's a little push. Or I need some room to like warm up.
Yeah.
A little bit, but then like so like just like today, right? So typically when I'm in the studio, I ask people to park on the right side of the building because that's the after hours doors. Let them in. So that time from letting them in to the actual studio, I'm trying to start some type of conversation. Oh, how's your day? Or how long you've been modeling? This type of thing. I have met some people. So I'm like, oh, how's your day? Good. Oh, how long you been modeling? 2 months. Like it's just like it's like pulling teeth, and I'm just like,
See, I'll be like, dang, why you so dry?
that's what I'm thinking.
I will say that, like, why you being so dry? Lighten up. But then, with me being like that, sometimes I feel like I can be overwhelming for some people because I talk my thoughts out.
Yeah.
So they be like, is something wrong with her? Like, yes. Yes, it is. Is it something wrong with you? You just don't want to tell nobody. You scared. Yeah, but I mean, I feel like everybody is different. But if I'm around somebody that's quiet, I'm going to figure out a way to break that. At Jacksonville Fashion Week, there was this boy. And he was not talking to nobody. He was very like looking everybody up and down. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why are you looking at people like that? He was like, cause I don't really be talking to people like that. I was like, okay, well, you finna talk to me for the rest of the night. By the end of the day, that was my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cool, we friends. What's up?
No, I like that. I feel like those are the best shoots. Just like good personality. And then like, too, I just feel like one of the communication is a soft skill a lot of people need to work on for various reasons, but just be able to have a conversation with people.
Definitely.
That's so important. All right. So, what's been your favorite modeling experience or photo shoot so far?
My favorite modeling experience was New York Fashion Week.
Ooh.
It was amazing. At the time, I was in a relationship, and my dad, his mom, his sister came. It was like a family thing. Felt so supportive, and the show was amazing. The designer was amazing. Everything was just amazing. Everything worked out better than I expected.
Yeah.
We did have a little hiccup. I left my whole bag at the Airbnb
Oh no.
when I got dropped off at the venue. But they went back, came back, and they literally came back with my bag right in time for me to walk in the door. So I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried at all because I was like, this is going to work out. This is going to work out. Why not? I'm in New York. I'm in New York for New York Fashion Week. That's something that I would recommend everybody sign up for. They usually drop the links. What's it called? The model experience usually drop the links around February, January, February. So be on the lookout for those because you can literally be in New York Fashion Week. It's not that hard. Unless, you have the budget, get there. Everything is on your stuff. So you have to get your lodging, your flights, your Airbnb, that's lodging, cars. If you're going to get a rental car, make sure, you're able to do all of that. But I always recommend sign up for New York Fashion Week and LA Fashion Week because it's there. It's an opportunity that you could put in your portfolio. Boom, New York Fashion Week. So that's my favorite experience as far as modeling. My favorite shoot is the one that I just had last Saturday. It's for the next issue of Apex Couture magazine.
Ooh.
It was a Halloween shoot with Antoine, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So I'm so excited for those to drop. That definitely showed my raunchy side, like 90s, 2000 club vibe. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
That's cool.
Thank you.
So, last question. Hopefully, maybe. Who knows? Do you have a dream collaboration or campaign you'd love to be a part of?
My dream collaboration or campaign. Right now, I'm taking baby steps. Right now, it will be Fashion Nova or True Religion. I feel like I want to be a Fashion Nova baddie. Why not? Anything bigger than that, if they were still doing America's Next Top Model, I would definitely sign myself up. Yeah. I would quit my job. I would, because I feel like I could make it all the way to the end. So if they were still doing that, I would definitely do that. So hopefully Tyra sees this, open up a season just for your girl.
Oh, goodness. So with that, have you ever considered, let's say, doing a city-wide version of America's Next Top Model? I feel like you could be that person.
Yes. That has been in conversation. We are working on it. So I don't want to say too much right now because I don't want nobody else to take our idea. But yes.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yes, it's something that we do want to get up and ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely.
And then any last words you want to say, things of that nature?
Something that I missed earlier as far as the advice is learning how to do your own makeup. Because when you're a model, you already have to come out of pocket for a lot of different things. So getting your makeup done by a makeup artist can be expensive, especially depending on how many shoots you're doing, how many shows you're doing. So practice your own makeup, learn how to do your own natural beat. If you need something more extravagant, then book that makeup artist. But learn how to do your own makeup. Yeah.
And then if somebody wanted to connect with you, how could they connect with you?
All right. So they can connect with me by Instagram. It is THEE.VanLee with 2 N's, 2 E's. That's my Instagram. My Facebook is evanlee, EVANLEE. And I'm also on TikTok, the Evan Lee. So everything is Evan Lee. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. you.